Hello and welcome to WCBN FM Ann Arbor's coverage of Michigan softball. I'm Morris Fabry alongside my partner in crime, Jeremy Parks, and we're coming to you live from Buckeye Field in Columbus, Ohio. Today, the Michigan Wolverines are taking on the Penn State Nittany Lions in the quarterfinal of the Big Ten softball tournament. Michigan earning a bye from Thursday's action thanks to their brilliant regular season record. Today we're playing in front of a crowd that's about 70 to 80% Michigan, I'd say, judging by the cheers before the game. The Wolverines fans have traveled well today. On the circle for the Wolverines, Megan Betza, ready to take on these Nittany Lions. Tell us a little about what to expect out of Betza today.
Well, Big Ten Pitcher of the Year about sums it up, doesn't it, Morris? She's been absolutely fabulous this season, touting a 24-4 record, a .46 ERA. Her opponents are only hitting a .66 against her. She's just been lights out this entire season.
Betza will face, leading off the inning for Penn State, center fielder Lexi Knief. At second base, hitting second, Molly Sorensen. The third baseman, Shelby Miller, hits third. Hitting fourth, the left fielder, Macy Jones. Hitting fifth, the catcher, Alyssa Vanderveer. Hitting sixth, the first baseman, Christina Brackpool. Hitting seventh, the right fielder, Aaron Pond. Hitting eighth, the designated player, Shannon Gooden. Hitting ninth, the shortstop, Raina Faria. We'll give you the Michigan lineups in a little bit, but right now we're ready to get underway as Knief steps into the lefty batter's box. Betza winds and delivers. And the first pitch over the outside corner for a called strike. Sun is beaming down here at Buckeye Field. It's a blistering hot one. These players probably haven't played a hotter game this year since their Southern tour to start the season. Betza winds, the 0-1 pitch to Knief. Fastball misses high out of the zone. The count even at 1-1 on the lefty Knief.
Well, we talked a lot about how the cold can affect the players, especially in some snowy affairs up in Ann Arbor this season, Morris. But today, the heat is out. It's easier to swing those bats, get those muscles moving.
Betza winds, the 1-1 pitch. Fastball called, strike at the belt on the outer edge. She's ahead in the count 1-2 on Knief. Lexi Knief, a .421 average on the year for the Nittany Lions. A great table setter for this team that is 29-27 on the year. Betza winds, the 1-2 pitch to Knief. Fastball misses high, tried to climb the ladder, and Knief didn't offer at it.
Well, it's been kind of the Megan Betza hallmark to sort of try and work in some of the off-speed stuff early, maybe try and climb the ladder a bit, but when she needs to, the fallback is always that deadly heat that she can bring, so look to see that here.
Corner infielders even at the bag for the Wolverines. Betza winds, the 2-2 to Knief. Fastball called, strike three on the outside corner. One up and one down via the punch-out for Megan Betza. She had 260 on the year and 162 innings pitched, and more of the same for the Wolverines to start this one. Your umpires for today's game: behind the plate, Leah Bowen. The first base ump, Lauren Asteriak. And at third base, T. Holt. We don't have the full first name written out. So now up to bat, the lefty, Molly Sorensen. Betza's first pitch in the dirt. Bounced into that left-hand batter's box outside for ball one.
Betza definitely going to try and work her corners early, sort of work that Rembrandt angle, kind of paint every little inch of it she can and sort of get a feel for how Leah Bowen's going to call the zone today.
Betza winds, readies. The 1-0 pitch to Sorensen is swung on, foul tipped right into the glove of Lauren Sweet for strike one. The count now 1-1. Wind doesn't appear to be blowing too strong. The American flag out in center field lays dormant from its pole.
What they call dead heat.
Betza winds. The 1-1 pitch to Sorensen. Swing and a miss. Fastball up in the zone. Sorensen was on top of that one. Had it timed well, but couldn't quite barrel it up. Outfield has Sorensen shaded slightly toward the opposite field. Infield playing in as Sorensen has a run up in her swing. She's a bit of a slap hitter. Betza winds, the 1-2 pitch to Sorensen. Swing and a miss on a fastball high and outside. Betza with 2 strikeouts in the first 2 batters she sees.
2 strikeouts for Megan Betza, and expect to see a lot of that today. We've seen it all season long from Megan Betza. Just deadly on the corners, deadly with the heat, and it's hard for hitters to guess where she's going to go or how it's going to come.
Really is a joy to watch. That brings up the third baseman, Shelby Miller, also a lefty in this Penn State lineup. Rest of the bat on her left shoulder. Betza winds the first pitch, misses high, bit inside there as well. Miller hitting .331 on the year, brings a bit of pop. Also has 4 home runs and 35 RBI for the Nittany Lions. She stands tall in that lefty batter's box. Betza winds, the 1-0 pitch to Miller. Fastball on the inside corner for a called strike one. The count now even at 1-1.
That one just made a good travel from outside to in, back in on Miller there, and a good pitch from Betza to get herself in the count 1-1.
The command has been pinpoint so far. Betza winds, the 1-1 pitch. 2-seamer misses high and a bit inside as Miller Moved out of the way of that one. The count now 2-1 on Shelby Miller.
And it seems to be working early on here. A couple easy up in the climb the ladder pitches and struggling to get ahead of those.
The 2-1 pitch just missed low and away. An off-speed pitch. The count now 3-1 on Miller. That was a very close one that Lauren Sweet held for an extra beat. Held it there for Leah Bowen to examine and eventually turned down.
Leah Bowen has had a rather liberal strike zone this season.
The 3-1 pitch misses off the plate inside, and I guess that was a called strike. Didn't really see Bowen go up with the right hand there, but the count now full. Perhaps the last pitch was a called strike, and I just messed that up. Either way, Betsa winds. The payoff pitch to Shelby Miller, swing, and a foul tip off of the glove of Sweet. It trickles away. Miller stays alive up there. The count's still full.
Miller barely got a piece of that one, just waving kind of easily at it, just trying to poke any little bit of it she can to stay alive.
Big hole up the middle as Michigan's middle infielders are playing wide to either side. Betsa winds. The 3-2 pitch, swinging a ground ball, chopped foul down the first base line. Tera Blanco ranges over to left, grabs and fires it back to her pitcher.
Good plate protection from Miller again there to fight that one off and keep herself alive in the count.
Just trying to battle off pitches here, get a base runner on base, and start a 2-out rally for these Nittany Lions. Betsa looks in, gets the sign. She winds. The 3-2 pitch, swinging a pop-up foul down the left field line. That one bounces off of a brick building that we can only assume to be an indoor bullpen facility down the left field line.
And it's turning into a bit of a battle here early between Betsa and Miller, working the pitch count. Again, like we mentioned, trying to get herself on base, get anything going for the Nittany Lions here early.
Since moving to 3-2, Miller's fouled off 3 consecutive pitches. They've all been pretty good pitchers, but Betsa unable to get the put-away pitch. The 3-2 pitch from Betsa, swing and a miss. Megan Betsa strikes out the side in the top of the first inning, and we head to the bottom half in a scoreless tie here at Buckeye Field.
But we always kind of wonder with Megan Betsa, how many outs are actually going to come off anything other than strikeouts, and that is her preferred method of how she likes to put batters down. And starting here again early, striking out the side in the first, and that's going to be an all-weekend thing for Megan Betsa.
Betsa definitely a pitcher who likes to do things herself. A much higher walk total than her counterpart in the rotation, Haley Wagner, the lefty. But, sometimes to be effective in striking batters out, you have to be a little wild from time to time. Betsa does struggle with her command, but really the only person who can beat Megan Betsa on the mound, or on the circle, I should say, is herself. And today, Penn State doesn't look like they're ready to beat her in the batter's box. So on the circle for Penn State is the righty, the freshman Jessica Cummings. She will face the Wolverines lineup led off by the center fielder Sierra Lawrence. Hitting second, the second baseman Sierra Romero. Hitting third, the left fielder Kelly Christner. Hitting fourth and playing right field for the first time in a while, Kelsey Susella. She played designated player in the Wolverines' most recent game against Penn State, but now she is at least healthy enough to get back out in the field for Big Ten tournament play. Hitting fifth, the catcher Lauren Sweet. Hitting sixth, the third baseman Lindsey Montemarano. Hitting seventh, the designated player Aidan Falk. Hitting eighth, the first baseman Tera Blanco. Hitting ninth, the shortstop Abby Ramirez. Jeremy, what do you expect from this Michigan lineup today?
Well, it's not so much what I expect from the Michigan lineup as much as what I expect out of Jessica Cummings, and I think it really works to Michigan's advantage, seeing as Cummings, the most, I think, striking thing on her stat line is the fact that opponents are hitting .312 against her. And when you're going up against one of the most dangerous lineups in college softball, that's not good for you. So if you're Jessica Cummings, you've got to try and stay away from over the plate, try and work corners and angles, and definitely keep things away from anything that can be driven by these dangerous Wolverine hitters.
The Wolverines lineup also a very patient one. Romero and Lawrence both with over 40 walks drawn on the year. Always willing to get on base. Lawrence, Romero, and Christner all on-base percentages above 500. Sierra Lawrence swings on the first pitch, down and in, and fouls it down the left field line for strike one.
Lawrence definitely a great leadoff hitter for Wolverines, a good play setter, much like Knief for the Nittany Lions, likes to get on base and make things work early.
The windup, the 0-1 pitch is popped up foul down the left field line, and that will clang into the bleachers to the left of us. Lawrence quickly behind against Cummings. 0-2 is the count.
Lawrence has played in all 54 games that she has had appearances in this season, hitting .379.
The 0-2 pitch bounces about a foot in front of home plate. Lawrence lets it go by. The count now 1-2. Cummings tried to get Lawrence to chase, but missed rather badly with her location on that pitch. Lawrence stands crouched low in the righty batter's box. Cummings winds the 1-2 pitch, swung on, engulfed high and foul down the left field line. And Lawrence, while she is a good table setter, also has a lot of pop in her bat. 13 home runs on the year for the Wolverines. She can lace the ball to all fields. Cummings steps off the bump and back onto the rubber now. Looks in, winds. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Sierra Lawrence chased one a bit off the plate outside, and that was a case of Jessica Cummings putting that ball right into her catcher's target off the plate outside. Good pitching to retire the leadoff hitter in the Wolverines order.
And Cummings is going to keep needing to do that today, working with her catcher, Alyssa Vanderveer. She's going to have to keep it off the plate like that and try and draw a few poor swings and a few chases to keep it away from the Wolverines.
And that'll bring up Sierra Romero, someone you don't want to miss on the outer edge with, as she has such devastating opposite field power. The first pitch, a slow looping breaking ball, misses off the plate outside. Romero's ahead in the count 1-0.
And Cummings has nearly a 1-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, 65 walks to 77 strikeouts coming into this game. So a little bit erratic with her control.
The 1-0 pitch, Romero's fouled off of her left ankle. It bounces back to the pitcher Cummings, but obviously that's only a foul ball. The count now even at 1-1 as Romero tries to walk off the bruise that she will soon develop on her left ankle.
Looks more like it might have hit her a little bit up higher on the shin. Coach Carol Hutchins going to take a look at it with her real quick as time is called by home plate umpire Laura Head.
Well, give me an anatomy lesson, Jeremy. What's the difference between an ankle and a shin?
Well, I think the ankle hurts a little bit more just because of, when you're stepping into your swing as a hitter, you put a lot more weight onto that ankle. But at the same time, I guess you do put a little bit more into it on the shin as well. However, it's a matter of how hard the ball hits the shin, whether or not it bruises onto the bone. It looks like she's going to be able to walk this one off. It's just a nice little foul off of her own shin there, and she's back into the plate now.
The 1-1 pitch from Cummings. Romero lets it go by. It misses inside. She's now ahead in the count 2-1. Sierra Romero, a tough customer, as are all of these Michigan softball players. Romero, a slightly open stance in the righty batter's box. Holds the bat raised above her right shoulder. The 2-1 pitch from Cummings. Fastball just misses off the plate inside. Romero ahead in the count 3-1. And you said Cummings' strikeout to walk ratio is about 1-1. She struck out the first batter, and we might see some regression to that mean ratio. Cummings winds the 3-1 pitch, swinging a rip foul back to the screen.
Well, I don't know much about math, but I know that regression to mean ratio in this case does mean that looking for a walk here to keep with the 1-1 ratio.
Yeah, I guess so. We'll see how that turns out, Jeremy. Cummings looks in. The payoff pitch to Romero, swung on and grounded toward the left side. The shortstop, Furuya, makes the play in the hole, but no throw over to first base, as the speedy Romero was going to beat that out regardless. Once that got by the third baseman, Shelby Miller, Furuya didn't have really a chance to get the Romero down the first baseline. So Romero on at first base with an infield single with one out, and that'll bring up Kelly Christner.
Kelly Christner has been absolutely torrid since the middle of the season. She's coming into this game having hit approximately 18 home runs and has the power that just sends the ball over any of these fences.
The windup, the first pitch by Cummings, called strike on the outer edge at the knees, and approximately 18 homers. Is she get a half or a quarter of a homer someplace?
Had to check the stat line real quick there to check it somewhere in the neighborhood of 20.
Hey, good memory. Romero, a threat to steal at first. The 0-1 pitch, another called strike on the outside corner at the knees. Christner did not like that one. Good command by Jessica Cummings.
And the confines here at Buckeye Field a little bit more friendly towards heavy hitters as opposed to home Alumni Field for the Wolverines.
The 0-2 pitch misses low in a way, and as Jeremy was saying, it's 190 feet down the right and left field lines. At Alumni Field in Ann Arbor, it's 200 down both lines. It's a little bit easier to poke one out. The 1-2 pitch to Christner, swung on and chopped slowly toward third. Miller fields it in foul territory. The home plate umpire, Leah Bowen, raises both hands to indicate that she was not able to pick that one up before it trickled foul. So Christner's still alive at the plate. Romero retreats to first base. Bit of confusion on the scoreboard as they're announcing that Susawa is up, but they will correct that very shortly.
Good heads-up play there, though, from the third baseman, Shelby Miller, for the Nittany Lions. Eager to get the out. It wasn't going to be a double play, but she did get the out at second.
The 1-2 pitch, breaking ball just misses off the outside edge of the plate. little bit of a moan from the small Penn State faction in this crowd. They wanted that one, but the count now even at 2-2 on the powerful lefty, Kelly Christner. Cummings froze Christner, but fortunately for Christner, missed off the plate. The 2-2 pitch comes in now. Fastball misses off the plate low and away. Christner has worked the count full on the righty Cummings.
Just a little bit lucky again off of that foul poke that was fielded on the wrong side of the line. It's kept her alive, and now she's working that pitch count even more.
Christner in a bit of a more favorable situation. The 3-2 pitch from Cummings, off-speed pitch, misses low and away. Romero was off on the pitch. He slides into second base, but it's not necessary as Christner heads down to first base with the walk.
That'll bring up Kelsey Susala to the plate now.
Yeah, now the scoreboard gets a second chance. Broke scoreboard might be right twice a day in a lineup, I guess. I'm not really sure how that saying goes, but either way, Susala hitting .367 on the year with 12 home runs and 51 RBI. The first pitch from Cummings, check swing foul, lined into the stands on our left side. It bounces around there, and Susala's behind in the count, 0-1.
Heads up play by some of the Northwestern Wildcat fans over there. Northwestern won 3-0 in the last game over the Purdue Boilermakers to advance to tomorrow's semis.
The 0-1 pitch from Cummings, off-speed pitch called strike. That one right down the middle of the plate. Froze Susala. That one about thigh high, too. Good pitch to hit. The count now 0-2 on Susala with 2 on and 1 out for the Wolverines in the bottom of the first. Cummings winds. The 0-2 pitch is swung on and popped down the left field line, hooking toward the corner, and it bounces off the fence in left field, foul territory. The left fielder, Macy Jones, made a long run toward that corner, but didn't have enough room to make the catch. So again, Michigan gaining some new life on foul balls on the fringe of outhood. Susala will get another chance here with an 0-2 count. Cummings gets the sign, winds. The 0-2 pitch, check swing on a pitch in the dirt. They appeal down to third base ump T. Holt, and he flashes that Susala did not go. The count now 1-2 on the right fielder.
And I think the good thing, if you're Jessica Cummings coming into this so far, she's been able to get herself ahead in the count early on hitters, just hasn't been able to maintain that.
The 1-2 pitch, check swing, called strike 3. That one hit the inside corner, and Susala down on strikes. Looked a bit out of sorts in that at-bat, and that will bring up the catcher, Lauren Sweet, with runners on first and second and 2 outs for the Wolverines. Lauren Sweet hitting .328 on the year with 11 home runs and 45 RBI. Cummings winds. The first pitch to Sweet is swung on and missed. Fastball just a bit off the plate outside. Great command there by Cummings, who again gets ahead of one of these Michigan hitters. Cummings working quickly on the rubber, winds. The 0-1 pitch is a fastball that misses low. The count even at 1-1 on the catcher, Lauren Sweet. Wind still dead, plenty of clouds in the sky. Some had obstructed the sun for a short time, but now it is beaming down. The 1-1 pitch is skied into really relatively deep left center field, but the left fielder Jones tracks under that one and catches it in the left center field gap. So Michigan gets a couple on with 1 out, but not able to drive anybody home. We will head to the top half of the second inning. Still scoreless here at Buckeye Field. You are listening to WCBN FM Ann Arbor's coverage of Michigan softball.
And I think despite the couple of walks that Jessica Cummings gave up in that inning for the Nittany Lions, I think she really did what we were talking about going into that inning, trying to keep it off of the plate, trying to avoid the middle of the barrel of those Michigan bats. And as we saw there with Lauren Sweet, just a little bit outside, not enough to really carry that over the wall, and just a fly ball into left center field. So look for Cummings to consistently do that today. She can give up a few walks if she has to, kind of working the outside corners, and it seems to be working for her well enough so far early in this game.
Yeah, for that .312 batting average against her, there were no balls hit hard by the Wolverines back in that inning. The infield single to Romero, the only hit for either side in this game, but definitely not one that she barreled up and drove, but one that she poked toward the left side and got under the glove of the Big Ten defensive, I think first team all defense, in Shelby Miller down at third base. It was announced before the game. A cloud creeping over us here at Buckeye Field in Columbus, Ohio.
Wait, there's shade in this town?
I guess so. Off in beyond the right field corner, we can see the practice football field where Urban Meyer and his team are not presently, but will be in the coming months.
Game time temperature today still, though, in reference to the shade, 88 degrees at game time, and it's a humid, sticky heat as well.
Yeah, it feels maybe a bit hotter than 88 degrees. We have some cool air getting pumped into our press box behind us, but I think it's safe to say that it's not the most efficient system for cooling us down. It's a hot one, but we're still happy to be here calling this Michigan softball team as Betsa waits for her catcher Sweet to get back out from the dugout. Always a bit of a delay between innings.
Possibly for a Big Ten Network commercial timeout. So thank you for tuning in with us and not Big Ten Network.
Yeah, hopefully our incessant rambling between innings is better than any commercial you will hear. And while we've got the time to advertise, it's as good a time as any to point out that we still have the Daily Sports Report Monday through Thursday from 6 to 6:30 p.m. As far as this summer go, we only got a couple more episodes for you, but if you want to tune into those, you can tune into 88.3 FM Ann Arbor or listen in at WCBN.org.
Also, take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube page if you haven't already at WCBN FM Sports or WCBN Sports, as well as WCBN Sports 2, as we are now multidimensional, broadcasting from many places at once.
And you can also follow us on Twitter at WCBN Sports. Interact with us. Tell us if we sound good, if we sound bad, if you agree with what we say, if you don't like what you say, if you hate our guts, let us know.
Look for a shout out even.
Now up to bat, the left fielder Macy Jones for the Nittany Lions, the 4-hitter in this lineup. Betsa looks and gets the sign from Sweet Wines. The first pitch to zone is swung on and fouled right back to the screen behind home plate.
Well, we'll see if Megan Betsa can pick up where she left off last inning. Struck out the side, doing it all herself. Really, the control was mostly there. When she was climbing the ladder, it was under a controlled circumstance. So we'll see if she can keep that up here.
Betsa looks in, gets the sign. Wines the 0-1 pitch to zone. Fastball misses high out of the zone. Tried to climb that ladder again. Jones lets it go by the count, even at 1-1. The third baseman, Monty Morano, playing several steps in from the third base line, close to the line, wary of the bunt. Betsa winds. The 1-1 pitch to Jones. Fastball just missed the zone high, it appears, as the count is now 2-1 on Macy Jones.
Tried to work the corner there just a little bit high, maybe a titch outside as well.
Jones, the first of a power trio in this Penn State lineup. The next three hitters, all with more than 10 home runs on the year. The 2-1 pitch, a breaking ball right over the plate, moved from left to right across home plate, in on the hands of Macy Jones. She lets it go by for a called strike 2.
We'll see if Betsa decides to maybe work something off speed or just come at her with the heat here. My guess is heat.
The 2-2 pitch from Betsa. Fastball swung on and popped foul just to our left over the screen. Jones keeping the at-bat alive. We saw Shelby Miller foul off several pitches before eventually succumbing to a strikeout. Betsa looking to put Jones away sooner rather than later. She gets her sign, looks in. The 2-2 pitch, swinging a pop-up foul. That one headed for the press box. A couple groans to our right as some of the Michigan Daily writers would have liked to get their hands on a souvenir.
I wonder if they let you keep them here. Not so at Alumni Field. I'd like a souvenir before I go home today.
Yeah, I'm definitely up and on the ready to catch any foul balls that come back here. Betsa gets her sign. The 2-2 pitch to Macy Jones. Swing and a miss on a fastball high out of the zone. She climbs the ladder. Macy Jones climbs with her and can't keep up. 4 up and 4 down for the Nittany Lions, all going down via the strikeout, and that will bring up the catcher, Alyssa Vanderveer. Vanderveer, the first right-handed hitter in this Penn State lineup. She'll be followed by 4 more righties. The first pitch from Betsa to Vanderveer is a breaking ball in the dirt, swing and a miss by Vanderveer. Lunging after that one, looking all out of sorts. Betsa took something off of that, and when you have the devastating heat that Megan Betsa has from such a short distance, it's tough to adjust to a breaking ball. Betsa winds the 0-1 pitch to Vanderveer. Fastball in the hands, popped up into foul ground. Monty Morano shading toward the dugout, the home field dugout for the Wolverines, and makes the catch in foul territory. So 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the second for the Nittany Lions.
Well, not every out can be a strikeout, but Megan Betsa is still getting the job done there, forcing Vanderveer to sort of pop it up over to the third base side and make an easy play for Monty Morano.
That'll bring up the first baseman, Christina Brackpool. Betsa's first pitch to her. Fastball just low. Tried to spot that at the outside corner at the knees, but missed the zone. The count 1-0 now on Brackpool. Brackpool hitting .342 on the season with 10 home runs and 45 RBI. Betza winds the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball called strike on the outside corner. Looked to be in a similar location, but caught more of the plate, kept it a little bit higher up. Count even at 1-1. Infield and outfield playing Brackpool straight away. Betza winds the 1-1 pitch, swinging a high fly ball to left field. That one is deep, way back, track wall, and that one is way gone, clearing the left field fence. And Brackpool, 10 home runs in the regular season, just had her first home run of the Big Ten tournament, and she puts Penn State on top 1-0 here in the top of the second inning.
Well, that one was a no-doubter right off the bat, just scorched into left field. Probably hit that about a good 220 feet out there, way over the wall, even though the wall's a little bit high out there and left. And absolutely nothing that Kelly Christner could do out there. She just watched it fly over her head for the first run of the game.
Yeah, she would have had to climb the wall, get on top, jump about 20 feet in the air in order to grab that one. A towering shot. And Betza just caught a little bit too much of the plate to Brackpool, and Brackpool made her pay.
And the first mistake of the game for Megan Betza is a big one. We'll see how she recovers here.
Aaron Pond, the righty for Penn State, squaring to bunt, now pulls back as Betza whistles her first pitch over the outside corner for a called strike one.
Just left that one a little bit too much over the plate and let Brackpool crush it into left field. Look for her to try and keep it a little bit more off the plate as a little bit more worry comes here.
The 0-1 pitch now to Pond. Misses low and away with a breaking ball. And not only was it over the plate, it was elevated in the zone about belt high. It looked to be a pretty meatballish pitch, as much as a fastball out of the right hand of Megan Betza can be a meatball. And a good swing by Brackpool, making her pay for her mistake. The 1-1 pitch now to Pond. Fastball called strike on the outer edge. Betza has battled right back, now ahead in the count 1-2 on Aaron Pond. Pond, the right fielder, hitting .238 on the season for the Nittany Lions. Not a lot of pop in her bat. Squares to bunt, pulls back the 1-2 pitch. Just misses the outer edge.
The Michigan contingency in front of us here in the press box wanted that one just a bit outside, I think.
Sweet shifted her body to the right to try to make that one look as though it were over the outside edge, but Laura Head does not oblige. Betza winds now the 2-2 pitch to Pond, misses off the plate outside. The count now full at 3-2.
And this is where Megan Betza is going to bring the big heater.
You would
trying to blow it right by Pond.
Betza looks and gets the sign. The 3-2 pitch from Betza, swinging a pop-up towards second base. Romero takes a step back, takes a step in, and makes the catch to end the inning. Penn State goes down, sending 4 to the plate, but scoring 1 on the Christina Brackpool solo homer out to left field. Michigan will bat in the bottom of the second inning, down 1-0 to the Penn State Nittany Lions. You are listening to WCBN FM Ann Arbor's coverage of Michigan softball.
Well, if you're the Nittany Lions, you want to get every single run that you possibly can against this dangerous Michigan Wolverines offense. And getting one early here is probably a bit of a confidence booster for them and sends Jessica Cummings, the pitcher, back out to the circle with 1 run to her credit to work with here.
Well, one thing that softball teams, baseball teams really are concerned with over the course of the game, and as far as building momentum goes, is winning innings. And one thing this Michigan team has been excellent at throughout the course of the season is when they have a big inning, they'll shut down the opposing team right after. And when another team scores on them in the top half, Michigan seems to be very diligent about getting right back into the game and responding with a bigger punch of their own. Michigan will send to the plate Lindsey Montemorano, Aidan Falk, Tera Blanco, followed by Abby Ramirez, and they will look to respond in kind to the Brackpool home run. This Michigan offense, dynamic, sound from top to bottom. They can win 1-0 games as they did against Maryland with Betza's no-hitter, and they can win the slugfest as well. Jessica Cummings, her stats on the year, her full stat line, .488 ERA, 7-9 win-loss record, 117 innings pitched, 153 hits, 65 walks, 77 strikeouts, and 21 batters hit by pitch. So Cummings, a pitcher who lets runners on base and maybe a little adept at pitching when she lets them on base, but Michigan will need to be patient, and really try to get a big inning in response to this Nittany Lion home run. Conference on the mound for the Nittany Lions. All the players slapped 5 with each other, and the catcher Vanderveer retreats behind home plate as Montemurano steps into the righty batter's box. Lindsey Montemurano, the third baseman, hitting .245 on the year for the Wolverines with 3 home runs and 18 RBI. Short, stocky frame. She has a square stance in the box. Cummings winds. The first pitch is ripped to left field. Jones on her horse, watches it bounce off the wall. It gets by her, back into short left field. Montemurano into second base with a stand-up double. Really solid contact by Montemurano to lead off the inning for the Michigan Wolverines.
Well, we talked about the Wolverines getting right back into this one offensively after allowing the Nittany Lions to take the 1-run lead, and that was just a great hit from Montemurano into left field. Just about hit the Illinois Fighting Illini logo out in the left, but left fielder Macy Jones tried to track that one and just flew right over her head and had a little trouble playing it off the bounce, but a double nonetheless for Lindsey Montemurano.
That was a rocket off of the bat of Montemurano. And that sets it up for the lefty, Aidan Falk, the designated player. She's hitting .299 on the season. Cummings looks and gets her sign, delivers. Falk swings at the first pitch, swings and misses at a fastball above the belt, in on the hands. Falk couldn't barrel that one. A big swing, though. Falk with 6 home runs, 30 RBI on the season. Everybody in this Wolverines lineup capable of hitting the ball over the fence. Cummings looks in. The 0-1 pitch to Falk, off-speed pitch, called strike on the inside corner, froze Falk, and she's behind in the count, 0-2 against Cummings.
Montemurano taking a few healthy steps off second base there after the first 2 pitches. Ready to go on anything in play from Falk, it looks like.
Maybe just testing the defense, seeing how they react. The 0-2 pitch to Falk is ground softly toward the left side, off the glove of Miller and off the glove of the shortstop, Faruya. That one a tough play for both of them once it got by Miller. Miller looks like she's pointing to herself as though she should have made the play. Falk safe at first base on what will either be an infield single or an error. So Michigan has 2 on with no out, setting it up for the first baseman, Tera Blanco.
Well, that's the second ground ball of the game down that third baseline that's been missed by Shelby Miller, and just bouncing off the glove as well of Furia.
Would have been a tough play for Miller on both of those, really lunging to her left. They ruled it an infield single, so no error on the scoreboard, and that sets it up for Tera Blanco. Blanco hitting .274 with some power on the year for the Wolverines. Cummings' first pitch, fastball over the plate, but misses high for ball 1. Wolverines with runners on first and second, Montemurano on second, and Falk on first. With no outs here in the bottom of the second, they trail the Nittany Lions 1-0 on the strength of Christina Brackpool's solo homer. Cummings winds. The 0-1 pitch misses high again. The count now 2-0, and Cummings quickly working herself into some trouble here in the bottom of the second.
This is not the position you want to be in up against this lineup, especially headed back towards the top after Blanco and the on-deck hitter, Abby Ramirez.
And Ramirez, a fearsome hitter in her own right. The 2-0 pitch to Blanco. She squares the bunt. Gets it right back to the pitcher, Cummings, who throws over to the second baseman. Sorensen coming first. They get Tera Blanco on the sacrifice bunt, putting the runners on second and third here with 1 out. Carol Hutchins opting to set up her lineup for the top of the order rather than letting her number 8 hitter Blanco hit against a pitcher who was struggling. Not sure if I agree with that decision, but regardless, it'll bring up Abby Ramirez here with 1 out and 2 runners in scoring position. First pitch from Cummings. Ramirez swings and pops it foul down the left field line and out of play.
Well, I'm not sure, Morris, if it was so much as to get to the top of the lineup as it was playing a little bit of small ball, just trying to set it up for a tag-up run if anything is poked into the outfield, trying to even up this game. It is championship time, and you don't want to waste any on-base runners.
The 0-1 pitch to Ramirez. Swung, grounded back up the middle. That one is gloved by Faria. Diving stop stops that from getting into center field. Montemurano scores. Ramirez safe at first on an infield single. And stopping at third is Aidan Falk. She would have scored had that gotten by Faria. So a good stop there, but still no outs recorded. A run in for the Wolverines. We're tied up at Buckeye Field, and that'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Sierra Lawrence.
That diving stop by Faria did save a run. However, she wouldn't have had a play anyways. These short base paths, plenty of time for the speedy Ramirez to get down to first.
Ramirez 4 of 7 in stolen base attempts on the year, but now with runners at the corners for the Wolverines, favorable circumstances to maybe take that second base bag. Nittany Lions infield at double play depth. The shortstop for you is shading deep into that hole on the left side, wary of the pull power of number 22, Sierra Lawrence. A lot of room up the middle if she wants it. Cummings looks and gets the sign. The first pitch to Lawrence. Hits her on the left leg. Twisted out of the way of that one, but couldn't avoid the pitch on the inside corner. So now the base is juiced for the second baseman and arguably the best hitter in Michigan's lineup, Sierra Romero.
Well, that's going to be the 22nd hit by pitch that Jessica Cummings has had this season. And I think Sierra Lawrence is a little mad she didn't get a hit. She just kind of chucked her bat behind her and went down to first. A little disgruntled that she got poked in the leg there.
Maybe in a bit of pain taking a softball off the leg. But, yeah, I'd say it's more the competitor in her that's irritated and not getting to tee off with runners in scoring position. That task now falls to Romero.
We're going to have a quick meeting on the circle here.
Yeah, that looks like
assistant coach Megan Gibson, I believe.
Yeah, it looks like Gibson going out to talk to her woman on the mound and Jessica Cummings, who has worked herself into a bit of a jam, and the Wolverines on the verge of winning this second inning. They have responded in kind to Brackpool's home run, still threatening now with the bases loaded and one out. Romero in the righty batter's box.
The most dangerous hitter in the Wolverines lineup in terms of average, hitting .463 coming into this game with 17 homers.
First pitch to Cummings, off-speed pitch, finds the outside corner for strike one. Good pitch there to get ahead of the dangerous second baseman for the Wolverines.
Look for Cummings to stay off the plate again. Nothing close, nothing that would allow Romero to slap in a few more runs here.
The 0-1 pitch. Fastball misses low and in. And you have to dance around the edges against Romero, but at the same time, you don't want to walk her because a walk right now is a run. It's a tough spot to be in as a pitcher. Romero 1 for 1 on the day. Infield single to the left side in her first at-bat. Cummings looks in, winds. The 1-1 pitch misses low and in. The count 2-1 on Sierra Romero.
Romero commanding respect at the plate. Cummings going nowhere near the middle of the plate with her, working everything around the edges.
Infield and outfield at normal depth. Hard hit grounder might result in a play at the plate. Cummings winds the 2-1 pitch, swinging a fly ball right center field. That one is deep, and that one is off the scoreboard. Gone. A grand slam for Sierra Romero, and the Wolverines out to a 5-1 lead here against the Penn State Nittany Lions at Buckeye Field.
Well, we talked about the Wolverines winning innings. This is about as big of a win as it gets. The knockout punch to Jessica Cummings coming in the form of the grand slam from Sierra Romero off the right side of the scoreboard in center field. That probably traveled about 230 feet before plunking off of that big boy out in center, and probably would have traveled another 10 or 20 had it not been knocked out of the air. But 4 big runs for the Wolverines.
A majestic high trailing drive on a fastball that was at the knees, maybe over the outer edge, but Romero likes those pitches more than she likes them anywhere else, loves driving those to the opposite field, gulping them out of here, and Romero with such a sweet swing on that ball. Michigan leads 5-1. The base is now empty for Kelly Christner. Cummings looks and winds the first pitch to Christner. She tries to lay down a bunt and bunts it foul. The ball grabbed by Vanderveer as it was about to trickle to the backstop. She's behind in the count. 0-1 now.
Oh, boy, a good first inning from Jessica Cummings, and she came into this inning a little bit more comfortable looking, and she just left a few too many out over the plate, giving up the leadoff double, walk, and a hit by pitch, and then the big grand slam.
The 0-1 pitch to Christner is driven to center field. Knief on her horse will have to field it off the wall. The throw-in cut off by Faria. Now the throw into second, not in time. Christner slides in with a double, following up Romero with an extra base hit to try to set up some more runs for these Wolverines.
And that's Christner's 12th double of the season. That one just traveled over the head of center fielder Knief. And the Wolverines are just lacing them here in the bottom of the second inning. Already 5 runs to cross the plate, and they're looking to do more damage here with just 1 out and another runner in scoring position.
That'll bring up the lefty, Kelsey Susala, a strikeout victim in her first at-bat, looking to pile on the runs for the Wolverines in the bottom of the second. Cummings winds. The first pitch grounded back up the middle, a base hit. Christner rounds third. She's headed for the plate. Knief's throw will be cut off by the first baseman, Brackpool. Susala stops at first base. She has an RBI single, and Michigan leads 6-1.
And that's Susala's 52nd RBI of the year, and that's the 6th run to cross the plate in this big bottom of the second inning. And it looks as though Cummings is going to be done for today. Yeah, shelled right out of there in 2 innings.
Cummings back to the dugout, down the dugout steps, pulled almost instantly after giving up a barrage of hits and runs for these Wolverines. And I'm not a fan of the small ball, but judging by the results, Hutchins knew what she was doing in setting up her lineup in a position to succeed, and it has succeeded about as well as you could have hoped for. On the mound right now for Penn State, Marlena Laubach. She pitched in the Nittany Lions Saturday game against the Wolverines last weekend, I believe. In that one, the Michigan Wolverines won 10-2 on a walk-off run rule home run by Monty Morano down the left field line. Laubach was solid in her starting duty.
Well, the Nittany Lions are just going to need her to keep it close here and allow their hitters to get to the plate again and try and do a little damage on Megan Betza. But that's going to be a tall order with Betza already with 5 runs to her advantage. And looks like the Wolverines are going to try and bring a couple more across the plate yet this inning.
Laubach's stats on the year: she has a 3.55 ERA, 9-17 win-loss record. In 142 innings pitched, she's struck out 74, walked 47, and given up 21 home runs. The batting average against, not much better than Cummings. Opposing hitters hitting 304 against the ready Laubach. She's got a long and very flexible delivery on the mound, arching her back far back before unloading to home plate. The catcher, Lauren Sweet, steps into the lefty batter's box, the first batter to face Laubach. Her first pitch to Sweet misses high out of the zone for ball 1.
And Laubach, I think her main goal coming in is to not let another run cross the plate. And that'll be a tall order here, but that's going to be the goal.
Olivia Richvalski pinch running for Susala right now. The 1-0 pitch to Sweet. Fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. That one about belled high. Good location there by Laubach. That pitch not exactly a good one to hit for Lauren Sweet. Laubach looks in, gets the sign. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball just misses out of the zone high. Sweet thought about it, but opted against it. And the count now 2-1.
A good eye there is going to allow her to see something good to hit here from Laubach.
Laubach winds. The 2-1 pitch. Swinging a fly ball. Shallow left field. Macy Jones under it, makes the catch. Richvalski retreats back to first base, so that'll be the second out of the inning for the Wolverines, and the first that wasn't caused by a sacrifice of some sort.
And getting that first out without allowing anything else to happen, going to be a big confidence builder for Laubach as she tries to get out of this inning now with Lindsay Montemurano coming to the plate.
Montemurano led off the inning with a double off the left field wall. Looking to get her second hit of the inning here against Laubach. Laubach winds. The first pitch to Montemurano misses off the plate outside. The Penn State infield definitely conscious of Richvalski down there at first base. The second baseman, Sorensen, covering second after every pitch, ready to come cover in case of a steal. 1-0 count on Montemurano. Laubach winds and delivers. Misses low with that one. The count 2-0. Outfield shaded straight away. The shortstop, Faria, deep almost on the outfield grass on the left side. Laubach looks in. The 2-0 pitch to Montemurano. Misses high with the fastball. The count now 3-0.
Not where you want to be with Montemurano. I'm thinking just leave it off the plate here. Maybe try and get her to chase something, but don't give her anything to hit here.
Montemurano steps back into the box, probably taking all the way as she moves all the way to the back of the batter's box. Laubach winds. The 3-0 pitch over the inside corner for a called strike 1. Delayed reaction by home plate ump Leah Bowen, but probably a good call as that one over the plate at the knees.
I think Montemurano turning in, trying to make it look like it shaved her off the plate a little bit, but nothing doing on the inside part of the plate.
The 3-1 pitch now by Marlena Laubach. Misses high with that one. Ball 4. Montemurano trots down to first base, reaching base for the second time in this inning. So now 2 runners on base for Aidan Falk. Falk with an infield single to the left side in her first at-bat. That one moved Montemurano up to second base. First pitch from Laubach to the lefty Falk. Check swing. Fastball misses high out of the zone. Laubach seems to have a little bit of trouble keeping her pitches down right now. Maybe that's a product of not having warmed up a ton as Cummings was shelled out of the game in a hurry. Laubach winds. The 1-0 pitch to Falk is swung on and missed. Huge cut there by Aidan Falk. Comes up empty. The count now even at 1-1.
A good pitch there from Laubach. Getting her chase maybe up a little bit high and a little bit outside. And Falk was eager to crush that one from the get-go.
Laubach winds. The 1-1 pitch to Falk. Swung on and gulped high. Deep into left field. Jones tracking back. She's out of room, and that ball is out of here. An opposite field bomb for Aidan Falk. A 3-run home run. Michigan pouring it on here in the bottom of the second inning.
Well, Marlena Laubach came in. She got the first out, had a little bit of confidence going, walked Montemurano, and that's the last thing that you wanted to happen if you're coming in relief. And Falk just poked that one again over the left field wall, about 220 feet. And that's going to give the Wolverines a 9-1 lead after a 9-run flurry here in the bottom of the second inning.
A towering shot that landed on the grass in a parking lot beyond the left field fence. A couple lucky girls went over and picked that one up. They might have a souvenir. That'll bring up Tera Blanco. Sacrificed bunt in her first at-bat earlier here in the second inning. She takes a called strike on the inside corner. Michigan has not only won this inning, they have possibly won this game with a 9-run tally here in the bottom of the second. The 0-1 pitch to Blanco. Again, a called strike on the inside corner. Good location there by Laubach. She's ahead in the count 0-2. Outfield shading Blanco straight away. The wind starting to pick up a little bit, but not going to be a factor in today's game as of yet. The 0-2 pitch from Laubach, swinging a ground ball, bounces off the top of Michigan's dugout and almost hits a fan out on the left side. Blanco fouling off that inside pitch, keeping the count at 0-2. Laubach looks in, gets the sign. The 0-2 pitch to Blanco. Misses low and away. Blanco does not chase. The count now 1-2 on Michigan's first baseman. Laubach taking her time now. Winds and delivers. The 1-2 pitch to Falk is ripped foul down the left field line. Bouncing off the protective fencing and
almost took out Carol
field.
Hutchins as she's kind of laughing over there.
That one, an absolute rocket. No time to react there for Hutch.
Oh, but she's fast as a cat. She ducked the second that one and touched the bat. That sixth sense of Carol Hutchins down on the third base line.
The 1-2 pitch from Laubach misses low with the breaking ball to count out 2-2. Preternatural reflexes in that third base coaching box where she has spent so much time in her career, so much time this season with this prolific offense staying at the plate for the Wolverines. The windup, the 2-2 pitch from Laubach, swinging a high fly ball deep into left field. Jones turns. She doesn't even move. That ball is gone to left field. Back-to-back jacks for the Michigan Wolverines in the bottom of the second inning. 10 runs. The latest one, a solo shot from Tera Blanco.
Do you think Macy Jones is tired of looking over her head and just watching balls fly over the left field fence?
Well, you know, I'm sure Lexi Kniep is welcoming the break after the whiplash caused by Romero's right center field home run. But, yeah, it seems like she's a little disgruntled, and who wouldn't be? Michigan's lineup on fire right now here in this mid-May heat at Buckeye Field.
They're going to leave Laubach in to keep pitching this inning and try and get out of it here.
And really, at some point, you just run out of options. Abby Ramirez at the plate for the Wolverines. Infield single her last at-bat. The first pitch from Laubach, a fastball that misses just off the plate outside. Infield playing in on the lefty Ramirez. Laubach winds. The 1-0 pitch just misses off the plate outside. That one by a little more of a sizable margin. And Ramirez ahead in the count 2-0. And with Tera Blanco's home run, that sets a Michigan team record for home runs in a season with 104. The windup, the 2-0 pitch to Ramirez is lined. Fair ball down the left field line. Jones tracks it down, bobbles it. It goes in the corner behind Ramirez. Going into third, the throw up the line. Bounces away from the third baseman Miller. Ramirez slides into third with a triple.
Well, Jones finally had something she could make a play on out in left field. Just had a little bit of trouble reeling it in there as that one bounced about 6 inches to the good side of the foul line. And that little bobble there as it rolled back all the way to the wall in foul territory is what allowed Abby Ramirez to round second and head towards third. And I believe that'll be scored as a double with an error. allowing her to advance to third on the play.
Ramirez with a triple that'll bring, again, the top of the lineup for the Michigan Wolverines. And if Lawrence gets on base, Michigan will be closer to having batted around twice than having batted around once, I believe, if my math is correct. Math not really my strong suit, but the numbers are off the charts for the Wolverines, as the scoreboard now shows 0 runs in the second inning, as they've outscored the scoreboard's capacity for
when you score so many runs, you just have to reset the board. I believe that's only happened one other time this season with the Wolverines.
I do believe you're right, at least one time in a broadcast that I can remember.
Absolutely abusive hitting here this inning with no end in sight.
Laubach on the mound, still 2 outs. Ramirez on third base. Lawrence in the righty batter's box takes the first pitch, high for ball 1.
Lawrence got hit in her last at bat. Looked a little angry that she didn't get a hit. Look for her to open up the bat here, try and put something into play.
Lawrence, one of the few Wolverines yet to get a base hit in this game. The 1-0 pitch from Laubach, off-speed pitch, misses off the plate inside. The count now 2-0.
Came in on Lawrence close again. I don't think she wants to get hit again.
Right now, Lawrence and Lauren Sweet, the only Wolverines in the lineup without a base hit here in the second inning. The 2-0 pitch to Lawrence, fastball misses high, and Lawrence maybe going to have to be patient right here, although you know she wants to swing that bat as the count moves to 3-0. Doesn't move too far back in that batter's box. She might have the green light here. Laubach winds. The 3-0 pitch to Lawrence, fastball on the inside corner for strike 1. Throughout the course of the season, we've seen pretty much a blanket taking on 3-0 policy for this Michigan lineup. That no exception for Lawrence. The windup, the 3-1 pitch to Lawrence. Fastball just misses high, maybe off the plate inside. For ball 4, Lawrence trots down to first base, and Romero back up to the plate. A grand slam earlier in this inning, looking to add to Michigan's now 9-run lead over the Nittany Lions.
So far, the high note of this big bottom of the second inning for the Wolverines, that grand slam home run from Romero off of the scoreboard in center field that brought 4 Wolverines around to score and gave them a 5-1 lead. It's now 10-1. We'll see what Romero can do here.
Laubach on the mound, on the rubber, I should say. The first pitch to Romero, fastball, called strike on the inside corner. Trying to get that in on the hands of Romero, not letting her extend and drive it to the opposite field, where she is so powerful. Laubach on the rubber, gets the sign, winds. The 0-1 pitch to Romero, misses off the plate low, and the count even at 1-1. Runners at the corners here for the Wolverines with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. They lead 10-1 over Penn State. Laubach winds. The 1-1 pitch, called strike on the inside corner. Good location there. Romero going to have to shorten up the swing and get defensive here behind in the count 1-2. Laubach bouncing around on the mound, gets the sign, winds and delivers. Misses high with the fastball. The count out 2-2 on Sierra Romero. Romero 2 for 2 on today. The grand slam in the second and an infield single in the first in both of her at-bats thus far. Laubach winds. The 2-2 pitch. Misses off the plate low and in. The count now full. And you got to give credit to home plate ump Leah Bowen. A lesser ump might have expanded the strike zone given the nature of the game right now. Time is called as a softball from out of play is trickled onto the field. But Bowen has stayed consistent with her zone. Count full on Romero. Lawrence will be taking off from first on the pitch. Laubach looks in, winds. The 3-2 pitch to Romero, swinging a foul ball. Pop foul on the right side. Bounces out behind the Penn State dugout.
Well, the Penn State bullpen threw one out onto the field, so Sierra Romero is just going to give them one right back in the form of a foul ball.
What a charitable swing right there. Count still full on Romero. Laubach winds. The 3-2 pitch. Swing and a line drive to left field. Jones going back, plays it off the wall. Lawrence stumbled going around second. Up at third base with a big smile on her face as I think Coach Hutch was going to send her home. Romero pulls into second with a stand-up double. Scoring from third is Abby Ramirez, and the Wolverines still piling on the runs, now leading 11-1 with 2 outs in the bottom of the second.
And the scoreboard now says that they have 1 run here in the bottom of the second inning.
That'll bring up Kelly Christner, doubled the center field in her last at-bat. Runners on second and third with 2 outs. The first pitch from Laubach off the plate outside for ball 1.
Man, how about Sierra Romero? That's a 5 RBI day so far for her, and it's only the second inning.
It's a 5 RBI inning for her.
Inning.
3 for 3, 1 hit away from the cycle, a triple away. The 1-0 pitch to Christner. That one again off the plate outside, and really there's no reprieve for these Penn State pitchers.
Maybe the only reprieve is that the clouds have come over the sky and a slight breeze has come in now to cool off some of those players down on the field.
2-0 count from Christner. Laubach winds, delivers, and misses off the plate outside. The count now 3-0 on Kelly Christner with Kelsey Susala waiting on deck. Laubach looks in. 3-0 count on Christner. She winds, delivers. It's a fastball that misses low and outside, so Christner trots down to first base with a walk. The base is again loaded for the Wolverines, and that'll bring up a pinch hitter, the righty Taylor Swearingen.
Perhaps a quick change in the lineup card here as Wolverines coach Carol Hutchins goes to home plate to discuss with home plate umpire Leah Bowen.
And I like this move because Susala may not be 100% from her leg injury, and right now she's being replaced by Swearingen. Perhaps we'll be able to get back out there in the game later on, but for now, giving that leg a bit of a rest for a game where the outcome is more in doubt. Vanderbilt also having a chat with her pitcher, Laubach. What do you think she's saying?
Just calm down and try and get an out. The same thing they've been trying to figure out since she got the second out of the inning in the first batter she faced. It's almost been a full round since then, and she's still been unable to record that last out to end the bottom of the second inning.
Laubach's first pitch to Swearingen, the righty, is swung on and driven down the left field line. That one hooking, and it goes over the fence foul, just foul of that left field line. Swearingen a couple feet away from the second grand slam of the inning for the Wolverines.
Yeah, I don't really think they needed 15 runs in the inning, but, well, just about happened.
You'll take him. If nothing else, it's batting practice for next game. Swearingen, after a long strike one, will step back into that righty's batter's box, down in the count 0-1. Laubach winds and delivers. Off-speed pitch misses off the plate outside. Swearingen not too tempted by that one. The count even at 1-1 on the righty. Swearingen, a tall, lanky utility player for the Wolverines. She's seen time at third and first base in addition to right field. Bat raised slightly above her right shoulder. The 1-1 pitch from Laubach. Fastball misses off the plate away. And now with nowhere to put her, Swearingen is ahead in the count 2-1 on Marlena Laubach. Bases still loaded, still 2 outs. Still the second inning for the Wolverines here at Buckeye Field. Laubach looks and winds. The 2-1 pitch. Check swing by Swearingen on a pitch up in the zone. Bowen appeals down to first base ump Lauren Asteriak, and she rules that Swearingen did not go around. The count 3-1.
A very delayed appeal, but an appeal nonetheless, I suppose.
And probably the right call yet again. I think these umps have been solid today. The count 3-1 on Swearingen. Laubach winds, delivers, and she takes high for ball 4. A bases loaded walk for Swearingen, scores Sierra Lawrence from third base. And that will bring up the catcher, Lauren Sweet, still with the bases loaded, still with 2 outs.
And that's going to be the 12th Wolverine to cross the plate so far this inning. And the bases are still loaded.
And it looks like Penn State head coach Amanda Lehotek having some words with the umpire, exchanging lineup cards, and I think that will be the end of the day for Marlena Laubach. Not looking too happy as she hands the ball over to the next girl out of the pen for the Penn State Nittany Lions. It will be Marissa Deisher. We'll get you stats on her very shortly. Deisher, another righty for these Penn State Nittany Lions, will face the lefty Lauren Sweet. Sweet, the only Wolverine not to get on base yet in today's game. She has flied out to left center in one at-bat, and not sure how she got out in her most recent at-bat.
Well, there's not a whole lot you can say here. That the Nittany Lions are just desperate to get this third out of the inning.
Yeah, and
Going on nearly a half hour of nothing but Michigan offense, just blistering pitch after pitch after pitch, whether it was coming from Cummings or Laubach.
And really, I think the at-bat for Romero exemplified the inning in which Laubach pounded her on the inside, got a couple called strikes on her, tried to go back to that same spot. And what did Romero do? She turned on it and lined it to left field off the wall in the air. Just sometimes you're just rolling too well. Deisher on the year, a 9.41 ERA for Penn State, 2-4. She's appeared in 17 games, started 7 in 38 innings pitched. She has struck out 30 and walked 38. Batting average against is .362. Lauren Sweet looking to raise that figure here for the Wolverines with the bases juiced. Deisher winds and delivers. Fastball misses high for ball 1, and that's something we saw to Laubach too. As soon as she came out of the pen, she lacked command and missed the zone high several times.
The Wolverines have now batted around twice.
Deisher winds and catches the outside corner for a called strike 1 with that fastball. The count even at 1-1 on Lauren Sweet.
And how crazy is it to think that if Sweet does in some way reach, up next is Monta Morano, and that would be her third at bat of the half inning.
Deisher winds, the 1-1 pitch to Sweet, misses off the plate outside. The count now 2-1 on Michigan's catcher. You got to imagine the substitutions are ready for the Wolverines, but at the same time, you want to give your star players a chance to get their reps too. The 2-1 pitch from Deisher to Sweet, misses off the plate outside again. Deisher behind in the count, 3-1 out of the pen. Nowhere to put Lauren Sweet, the bases loaded. Deisher gets her sign, looks in, the 3-1 pitch to Lauren Sweet. Sweet takes it right over Broad Street for a called strike 2. Count now full with 2 outs. Runners will be off on the pitch. Deisher looks and winds. The full count pitch to Sweet. Swing and a pop-up foul down the left field line. That'll get out of play. And one of the ushers steps out of the way. I think the crowd expected him to try to make the play, but he decided against it.
I think he thought about it and just took a little sidestep just out of a 70s disco hall to avoid that one.
Well put, Jeremy. The 3-2 pitch again to Sweet, misses well off the plate outside. Sweet trots down to first base. A bases loaded walk makes it a 13-1 game. And that brings up Lindsay Montemorano for her third at-bat of the inning.
Got the show going here in the bottom of the second for the Wolverines with a leadoff double over the head of the center fielder, Knief. And that was really the start of what's turned into a 13-run bludgeoning of the Nittany Lions here.
Walked in her most recent at-bat. Now with the bases loaded, 2 outs, looking to do a little bit more. Deisher's pitch misses low and in for ball 1. On deck awaits Aidan Falk, who homered in her last at-bat. Montemorano waits on the 1-0 pitch. It's on its way. And it catches the outside corner for a called strike 1. The count even at 1-1.
Deisher still trying to find the third out of the inning, something that Marina Laubach could not do.
Deisher winds, the 1-1 pitch to Montemorano in the dirt. Low and away. Good scoop there by the catcher, Vanderveer, but the count now 2-1 on Montemorano. We'll give you the final lines for Penn State's pitchers as soon as this inning ends. The 2-1 pitch is lined hard and foul down the right field line, ricocheting off the Penn State dugout and a fence. A couple fans out there, or maybe tournament staff who are on the ready, and hopefully nobody got hurt over there. The count out 2-2 on Montemorano.
Short netting here at Buckeye Field equals look out if you're in the stands.
Deisher winds, the 2-2 pitch. Montemorano fouls that one off the inside of her leg and down the left field line. Count still 2-2 on Lindsay Montemorano.
Penn State still looking for the third out as well.
Yeah, we will give you the lines of their pitchers if this inning ever ends. Count 2-2. Deisher winds, readies, and delivers. Montemorano grounds it to second base. Sorensen fields, throws over to first. Montemorano is out, and so are the Wolverines. They leave 3 runners stranded, but bring across 13 more. We will head to the top half of the 3rd inning with the Michigan Wolverines leading the Penn State Nittany Lions in this Big Ten softball tournament quarterfinal, 13-1. You are listening to WCBN FM Ann Arbor's coverage of Michigan softball.
Well, that was probably, and argue with me if you think you feel it, but I would say that's Michigan's most dominant half inning of baseball I've seen them play all season long.
Yeah, and that's even coming with giving up a run in the top half. Yeah. Oh, you did say half inning. I apologize.
We went in talking about winning innings, and I think they won that inning.
Yep. I mean, they have a tendency to do so. It's just the spirit of this team, and let me tell you, it seemed like every hitter in that lineup was locked into a zone. And to think of the fact that the Wolverines actually gave up an out in that inning and still took so long for the lineup to be retired really speaks volumes about the depth of this Michigan lineup. Everybody getting it done for Michigan. Betza back on the mound with a pretty hefty cushion.
Well, it took a different pitcher to get all of the 3 outs of that half inning. Started off with Cummings and came in Laubach after the Wolverines had taken a 5-1 lead. She got 1 out and then struggled to find the next one until it was an 11-1 affair. And that's when Marissa Dietrich came in and was finally able to get the 3rd, but not before giving up to herself. And now it stands at 13-1 with the Wolverines headed in cruise control, it would appear, for the rest of this game.
The final line, or final unless she comes back into this game for Cummings, 1.1 innings pitched, 1 1/3, I should say. 7 hits, 1 walk, 1 hit by pitch, 7 runs, all earned. Final line for Marlena Laubach, and the box score does say that Cummings has not given up a home run, but I believe that to be mistaken, as Michigan has 3 home runs on today's game so far.
She did give up the grand slam to Sierra Romero for sure.
Yeah, those going by Tera Blanco, Aidan Falk, and the Rom Bomb from Sierra Romero. The final line for Laubach, assuming she doesn't come back in this game, 1/3 of an inning pitched, 4 hits, 4 walks, 6 runs, 6 earned, a home run in that. And Deesher has given up 1 walk and recorded 1 out. Leading off the 3rd inning for the Nittany Lions, the designated player, Shannon Good. Betza has had a very long rest after giving up the 1 run in the top of the 2nd. Her first pitch to Good is an off-speed pitch. Good swings right through it and misses. Betza quickly ahead in the count, 0-1. Shannon Good hitting .204 on the season for the Nittany Lions. Stands tall in the righty batter's box. Betza's 0-1 pitch misses off the plate outside. The count now even at 1-1. Montemurano playing in the dirt, a couple steps in from 3rd base. Rest of the infield and outfield straight away. Betza winds the 1-1 pitch, misses high out of the zone for ball 2.
And we say that the Wolverines are riding in cruise control, but there's still a lot of baseball left to be played here. Still just the top of the 3rd inning.
A lot of softball, we should say.
A lot of softball to be played here. A lot of ball to be played here.
There you go. Good with a square stance in the box, holding the bat pretty high above her right shoulder. The 2-1 pitch from Betza, swing and a miss on another off-speed pitch away. I think Betza's gone off speed with all the pitches that Good has seen in this at-bat. Maybe that's in the scouting report. It's reflected well thus far. Betza winds. The 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss on a breaking ball in the dirt. Good goes down on strikes on some good pitching by Megan Betza. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's Betza's 5th strikeout of the game so far. That will bring up the shortstop, Reina Furuya. Penn State with only 1 base runner on the day, and that was Brackpool's solo shot. First pitch to Furuya is grounded foul down the left field line. That one a pitch on the inner half. Furuya, who is hitting .216 on the year for the Nittany Lions, 2 home runs and 21 RBI. Turn on the inside pitch, but couldn't straighten it out. Has a closed stance in the box. Betza's 0-1 pitch misses high for ball 1. And perhaps that is something that just happens when you're on the bench and not completely warmed up, but most of the pitchers we've seen fresh into this game have missed high with their pitches. Betza again misses high, this time outside as well, with a fastball. The count now 2-1 on Reina Furuya.
And I'd say that's more an issue of release point, and maybe some of that does have to do with the fact that most of the pitchers we've seen in this game that have struggled with being up high have either sat for a very long time or have come in fresh with not much warm-up.
Betsa misses way high and way outside. The count now 3-1 on Furuya. And perhaps it's just a case of needing to establish a rhythm out there in the circle on the field.
It's kind of hard to establish a rhythm if you're Megan Betsa waiting a half hour between half innings.
Well, she looked to be in rhythm on that pitch, sliding it over the inside corner on a 3-1 count, making the count 3-2 on the shortstop and 9-hitter, Reina Furuya. Knief waits on deck for the Nittany Lions. Betsa winds. The 3-2 pitch, swinging a pop-up on the infield. Montemurano under it, straddles third base as she makes the catch for the second out here in the top half of the third inning. Montemurano aware of the base's presence with good footwork to avoid tripping up there. Lexi Knief up to the plate. Struck out in her first at-bat, which seems like it was ages ago. Probably the best hitter for average in this Penn State lineup. The first pitch from Betsa, right down the heart of the plate, a fastball in 1.
It looks as though the sun is going to reemerge from behind the clouds as the wind has somewhat died down here at Buckeye Stadium.
Betsa winds. The 0-1 pitch to Knief is swung on and gulped into center field. Lawrence takes a step back. Now takes a few steps in. Her sunglasses will remain on her head as she makes the catch in shallow center field for the third out of the inning. 3 up, 3 down for the Nittany Lions. We head to the bottom half of the third with the Wolverines leading this game 13-1.
I guess the long wait for Megan Betsa to get back up into the circle did not have much effect on her. Still quick work in that inning there. 3 up and 3 down as we head back to the bottom of the third inning, and that means headed back to the dangerous Wolverines lineup.
And you got to imagine that this Penn State team as a whole feeling rather dejected after basically being eliminated from the game in a few swings of the bat for the Wolverines.
More than a few. It was plentiful swinging that last half inning, but definitely a bit of a mental battle now if you are Penn State, whether you're pitching or whether you're hitting, whatever you're doing out in the field. You're staring down the fact that this may be your last chance to play this season, and that's going to have an odd mental effect on anyone.
In one trip through the lineup, the Wolverines did bat around a few times, but in doing so, in one sequence of hitters, you have a grand slam by Romero, a double by Christner, I think an RBI single by Susala,
and then
Sweet got out, and then Montemurano with a walk, Falk a home run, Blanco a home run, Ramirez a triple, and then Lawrence a walk, and I got to assume Romero got another. Oh, yeah, Romero a double to left. It's just hit after hit, and they're not cheapies either. The Wolverines hitting line drives and towering shots out of this ballpark.
An absolute dissection of every pitcher that's come up to face them today.
Aidan Falk leads off the bottom of the third for the Wolverines. The first pitch from Disha misses off the plate outside.
Dietrich did come in that last half inning and finally get the third out for the Nittany Lions, but boy, wasn't soon enough.
Facing a full inning is a tall task. The 1-0 pitch to Falk misses in the dirt. Good scoop by the catcher Vanderveer. Falk 2 for 2 on the day, an infield single in her first at-bat, and a homer to left field in her last one, an opposite field towering shot that landed in the parking lot. Count 2-0 on Falk. Disha winds and delivers. Misses high and away. Disha behind in the count, 3-0. Falk playing back in the box. Disha winds the 3-0 pitch. Falk takes it and misses off the plate away for ball 4. A 4-pitch walk to Aidan Falk to lead off the bottom of the third inning. And that brings up Tera Blanco.
And it looks like it's just going to continue where it left off at the bottom of last inning, at least thus far with that 4-pitch walk. Not boding well out there for Marissa Dietrich. She's going to have to buckle down and try and get something on the ground here.
First pitch to Blanco misses off the plate outside. Blanco stands with a wide open stance at the plate, so perhaps pitcher's trying to fit the ball in the outside corner. Disha missed there. Blanco with a sac bunt and a solo shot in this game. The 1-0 pitch from Disha. Misses off the plate inside. The count now 2-0. Deisha is yet to throw a strike in the bottom half of the third. Falk, not a big stolen base threat. She hasn't swiped one yet this year for the Wolverines, and up 12. Wolverines probably won't be too active on the base paths. The 2-0 pitch to Tera Blanco misses low and in. The count now 3-0. Deisha in a bit of trouble with not much help waiting for her in the bullpen.
7 straight balls from Deisha. Just got to breathe here and try and find anything that's going to be called a strike.
She doesn't look very comfortable out there on the mound. The 3-0 pitch to Blanco misses low for ball 4. Blanco drops the bat, trots down to first base. The first 2 batters on for the Wolverines on 8 consecutive balls. And that will bring up the lefty, Abby Ramirez, with the top of the order waiting on deck.
2 4-pitch walks in a row. Not going to bode well in the head of Deisha. Abby Ramirez's last at bat was that double down the third base line that turned into a triple after an error from the left fielder Jones.
She takes the first pitch on the outside corner for strike 1. Good pitch there, good location by Deisha. 2 on, no outs for the Wolverines. Deisha winds. The 1 pitch to Ramirez, swing and a miss. That one a fastball that stayed off the outer edge of the plate. The count now 0-2 on Abby Ramirez. The windup and the pitch from Deisha. Misses in the dirt, off the plate away. The count back to 1-2. Ramirez 2 for 2 on today's game. Has an infield single and a double to her name. The 1-2 pitch from Deisha. Misses low and away. The count now even at 2-2 on Ramirez. Outfield has her shaded to the opposite field as Ramirez doesn't pull the ball very often, if at all. Almost all of her hits come up the middle or toward the left side. Deisha winds the 2-2 pitch to Ramirez. And that one just missed high. Looked like it might have been a called strike 3. But home plate ump Leah Bowen keeps her right hand down, and the count now full on Abby Ramirez.
And tough if you're Deisha after getting up in the count 0-2 to fall behind to full.
Deisha winds the 3-2 pitch to Ramirez, swinging a ground ball right back to Deisha on the mound. She throws to third for out number 1, cutting down the lead runner, Aidan Falk. No time to throw out a runner at second or first for the third baseman, Shelby Miller, but good play there by the pitcher, Deisha, to cut down the lead runner and get the first out of the inning for the Nittany Lions. So that'll bring up Sierra Lawrence. The first pitch from Deisha to Lawrence. Misses off the plate inside. Lawrence 0 for 1 has also walked and been hit by a pitch. Deisha looks and gets the sign, winds, and delivers the 1-0 pitch to Lawrence. Misses low and in the dirt. Aidan Falk taking a nice lead. Sorry, that would be Tera Blanco taking a nice lead down at second base. Penn State paying her no mind. Deisha looks and winds. The 2-0 pitch to Lawrence. Misses a called strike on the outside corner.
Just caught the outside corner there. Good call from home plate umpire Leah Bowen.
Good spot there, too, by the pitcher, Deisha. And good job framing by the catcher, Van der Veer. Deisha winds the 2-1 pitch to Sierra Lawrence. And that one does miss the plate off the outer edge. The count now 3-1 with Romero waiting on deck.
Looking for about the same location there was Deisha. Just not quite the same accuracy on that last pitch.
Deisha working quickly, winds in the 3-1 pitch. Lawrence takes it low for ball 4, trots down to first base. The bases again loaded for Sierra Romero.
An all too familiar sight today for the Nittany Lions, trying to deal with a bases loaded situation. And with the girl who already hit a grand slam in today's game coming to the plate yet again.
The Penn State outfielders slowly turning and taking a couple steps back.
Romero already has 5 RBIs on the day.
The right fielder Pond shaded toward right center field. The first pitch from Deisha inside and hits Romero on the leg. She's already fouled one off of her leg and now taking a pitch off the other half of that leg. Trots down to first base, scores a run with the hit by pitch. Michigan now leading 14-1.
Another pitching change perhaps here.
Romero not too happy being hit with that one. And if I'm not mistaken, I think help is going to come from elsewhere in the field for the Nittany Lions.
Deisher will go, and that will be number 3, Macy Jones, the left fielder, who's watched ball after ball fly over her head out and left today.
Jones came in to pitch for the Nittany Lions in their game on Saturday against the Wolverines, and, well, she gave up a walk-off homer to Monte Morano and generally got hit pretty hard by the Wolverines.
And it looked as though it might have been number 21 that came into the game to switch out in the field, and that would be Gianna Ariza-Rieta. Good job there, Mo.
Yeah, I studied the pronunciation guide last Saturday, fortunately for me, and that was obviously the number 1 name to get known.
Not positive if it was her yet. We'll have to see. Sort of trotted out there quickly. I thought I saw number 20, but there is no number 20 on Penn State.
Waiting to hit for the Wolverines with the bases loaded will be Amanda Vargas, pinch hitting for Kelly Christner. Michigan slowly starting to empty their bench, as Jones, the first lefty Michigan has seen today, is taking her final warm-up tosses to her catcher, Vanderveer. The whole team, outfield included, has come to the mound for a conference with their pitcher Jones, offering her words of encouragement before she is thrown into the fire that has been the Michigan lineup today. And it looks like not Gianna Ariza-Rieta going out to left field, but
shifting over to left field is going to be Aaron Pond.
Oh, yeah.
Which means in right field
might be the designated player, Shannon Good. Anyway, the first pitch from Jones to Vargas is a called strike on the inside corner. Good location there with the fastball.
Well, we're all types of confused as to who subbed in for the Nittany Lions there, but if we figure it out, we'll let you know.
Well, the last time Jones came into the game, Good ended up taking her spot in the field. The 0-1 pitch to Vargas, off-speed pitch, looped towards second base. Making the catch there is Molly Sorensen. It came right to her, and that'll be the second out of the inning for the Wolverines. Vargas got that pitch in her hands, couldn't muscle it out into right center field. So 2 outs and the bases loaded now for Taylor Swearingen.
It will be number 24, Mary Ward, in right field now, replacing Aaron Pond, who's come over to play left field. So, again, that'll be number 24, Mary Ward, in right.
First pitch to Swearingen from Jones. Misses high for ball 1. Swearingen, in case you forgot, an RBI walk in her last plate appearance, almost had a grand slam to left field, just missing foul down the left field line. So Pond in left field, Ward in right. Off the mound is Deisher, on is Jones. The 1-0 pitch from Jones in the dirt, good block by Vanderveer. Swearingen lets it go by for ball 2. Swearingen, plenty of pop in her bat. Not hitting for average this year, but showed a good eye in her only at bat of the game, pinch hitting for Susala. Jones looks in, gets the sign, winds. The 2-0 pitch to Swearingen. Thought about that one as it floated over the plate at the knees for a called strike 1. Wind starting to pick up. The Big Ten flags to our right, not blowing with much intensity, but out in center field, that American flag is fluttering in the breeze. The 2-1 pitch now to Swearingen. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball in under her hands. The count now even at 2-2.
We hate to tell you this again. It was not actually Mary Ward in right field. The public announce system also got it wrong. It will be Shannon Good. So good call by Mo there for the designated player Good now in right field.
Sorry for any confusion that we have caused you.
And a good Aaron Pond in left.
The 2-2 pitch to Swearingen is grounded to the left side. Miller Fields takes a step to right, steps on third base, and gets the force out there. That'll do it for the Wolverines in the bottom of the third inning. They add 1 run to their lead. They now lead 14-1, headed into the top of the 4th inning. And just a bit of an information tidbit for you. The mercy rule is that if a team is ahead by at least 8 runs after 5 innings, they win the game. And in college baseball, that does not apply in the NCAA tournament, but For softball, it does. So if Michigan leads by 8 runs after 5 innings, they will win the game. And I think that's probably where we're headed today.
Seeming like it. Unless Penn State can get some offense brewing here, that's a tall order again against the Big Ten Pitcher of the Year in Megan Betza.
Betza with a 1.46 ERA on the season, 24-4 win-loss. She's thrown 20 complete games in 28 starts.
Oh, Haley Wagner is going to come into pitch now, it looks like.
Oh, would you look at that?
Well, that worked out about as well as it possibly could for the Wolverines. Betza pitched a few innings, get her some rest, and hopefully she'll be able to play yet again tomorrow, as the Wolverines are hoping to play 2 games to make it to the championship. And the championship would be the second of those 2 games.
I think those games, if I'm not mistaken, will occur at 2:30 and 8:30 p.m. respectively.
I can double check for you. The first game tomorrow will be at 3:30.
Oh, good call.
And then the other semifinal game at 6, leading up to the big championship game tomorrow night here under the lights at 8:30. And hopefully we'll be here for that.
You can, of course, watch those games on Big Ten Network, but
why would you want to do that?
There's no fun in that. You wouldn't be able to listen to our lovely voices calling the game for you at the same time.
Corny jokes, good camaraderie, great sports broadcasting, WCBN FM Ann Arbor. That's always coming left to right across the radio dial with force.
So Wagner on the circle for the Wolverines. We'll get you her stats as soon as we can come up with them.
And just a small bit of information as well. Whoever wins this game between the Wolverines and the Nittany Lions will face the Northwestern Wildcats, the 4 seed, in tomorrow's semifinal game at 3:30. And at the moment, it is looking like it will be the Michigan Wolverines, as they lead by 13 runs headed into the top of the 4th.
The Wolverines have not played Northwestern over the course of their softball season, so there will be some new faces for this Wolverines team who right now are playing a team that they concluded their regular season against.
And after Northwestern finished that first game, they started at 12, finished right at about 2:45, or 1:45, my apologies, 2 o'clock. And it appeared as though they were kind of sitting out here in the stands behind home plate, sort of gauging what the Wolverines had to offer.
Wagner's first pitch is to Molly Sorensen. She takes a half-cut swing and a miss for strike 1. Good heat there by Haley Wagner.
The other 2 games here in the tournament tonight between the Nebraska Cornhuskers and the Ohio State Buckeyes, and the Minnesota Golden Gophers and the Iowa Hawkeyes.
The 0-1 pitch is swung on and fouled hard back to the screen. Wagner quickly ahead in the count, 0-2 on the lefty Sorensen. Wagner's stat line on the year, she's 20-2 with an ERA of 1.76. The senior lefty winds and delivers the 0-2 pitch, misses off the plate outside for ball 1. Wagner never afraid to pour in the heat herself. She's working quickly out there on the bump, looks in, winds. The 1-2 pitch to Sorensen, off-speed pitch, swing and a miss. Sorensen totally baffled by that off-speed offering by Haley Wagner. 1 up, 1 down for the Nittany Lions here in the top of the 4th.
Also, another substitution note, it is Kelly Christner back out in left field for Amanda Vargas yet again.
Swearingen, however, maintaining her place out in right field for the Wolverines. The third baseman, Shelby Miller, now will hit in the lefty batter's box. Wagner's first pitch, swing and a big cut and a miss on a pitch in the dirt.
Looked a little bit uncomfortable there, did Miller.
That pitch just dropped out of the zone. The floor dropped out. Wagner with some scintillating stuff so far. The 0-1 pitch. Slider misses off the plate outside. The count now 1-1.
Morris Fabry always handy with his thesaurus. Scintillating. I enjoy it.
Wagner enjoying herself out there too. The count 1-1 on Miller. Wagner winds and delivers. Misses high with the fastball. The count now 2-1. Wagner's had quite the career with Michigan softball. 95 wins over the course of her softball career with only 17 losses. She winds and delivers the 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Miller all over the top of that one. A slider that cut back across the plate. Miller had no chance. She's now even in the count, 2-2 on Wagner. Wagner not a strikeout artist. The 2-2 pitch to Miller. Misses in the dirt with a breaking ball. Wagner actually struck out more batters her freshman year than she did at any other point during her career. Also appeared in far more games and innings, was the bulk of the Wolverines pitching staff that year. Wagner's 3-2 pitch is lined on one hop to Ramirez. She makes the play at short, throws over the first, and gets Miller by a couple steps. Slick glove work there at short by Abby Ramirez to record the second out of the top half of the fourth inning.
And a good cut there from Shelby Miller. The first really good strong cut I think we've seen since the home run from Brackpool all the way back in the top of the second inning. Maybe things looking a little bit up offensively for the Nittany Lions.
The lefty Macy Jones now looking to help her own cause for the Nittany Lions. Takes the first pitch right down the heart of the plate for a called strike one. Wagner in her freshman year was a bit of a phenomenon for the Wolverines. 153 RA, 32-7 that year. Doing similar and a little less of a sample size this year for the Wolverines. She misses low in the dirt. The count out even at 1-1.
It's just seemed as though when it's come down to it, Wagner's been slightly more erratic, has given up a few more runs than Betza, and that's why Betza has been more the go-to arm for the Wolverines so far this season.
But that is in no means a slight on Wagner, who has been dominant in her own right. She misses on a 1-1 count with a fastball high and outside. The count now 2-1 on the lefty Macy Jones.
And absolutely, the opportunity, or the operative word there would be slightly. Yeah, more erratic, gives up slightly more runs than Megan Betza, but two amazing pitchers.
The 2-1 pitch, fastball called strike on the outside corner. The count even at 2-2 on Macy Jones. 2-2, 2 outs. The scoreboard reading as though Michigan has 24 runs, when in fact they do have 14. Bit of a slip up there. It has been adjusted. The count 2-2. Swinging a fly ball down the left field line off the batter. Jones tracking it toward the corner and making the catch in foul territory is Kelly Christner. Good play by the left fielder Christner, who has shown some impressive glove work for the Wolverines over the course of this season. Recording the final out of the inning, we head to the bottom of the fourth with Michigan leading 14. Yes, 14, not 24, not 34, not 4. 14-1 over the Penn State Nittany Lions. You're listening to WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan softball.
Michigan defensively just continuing to cruise a little bit here in the later innings after putting up that 13 spot in the bottom of the second. And it's been smooth sailing since then, and really smooth sailing since the solo shot from Christina Blackpool off of Megan Betza back in the top of the second inning. And not much to do. It's fallen more on the arms of the Nittany Lions. They've gone to 4 pitchers so far in this game. Cummings and Laubeck, then Deisher, and now Jones, who's going to come back out onto the mound here in the bottom of the fourth.
And all signs would indicate that this will be the last reps for this Wolverines lineup. Perhaps we'll see some more pinch hitters. They've already deployed Vargas off the bench along with Swearingen. Rich Volsky has had some experience pinch running. Wagner's come off to pitch. We still may see the likes of perhaps Nikki Wald or Lauren Connell. Mary Sabonik has pinch run frequently for the Wolverines this season. Maybe she'll get a chance at the plate, or perhaps the Wolverines will just opt with what's been working so far. It looks as though Lauren Sweet will lead off the inning for the Wolverines. Sweet 0 for 2 on today's game. One of 2 Wolverines who have started who have not recorded a base hit. She did walk in her last at bat, however. The lefty Sweet will face the lefty Jones. The left fielder Pond shaded toward the line in left field. Jones taking her time, getting back on the rubber, now does. Winds, and the first pitch to Sweet bounces in the dirt in front of the plate for ball 1.
It appears as though maybe the Wolverines have lifted a little bit off of attempting to crush every pitch that comes to them. No need to really pour it on here.
The 1-0 pitch to Sweet misses high for ball 2. Sun still beaming down here at Buckeye Field.
Been slight cloud cover throughout the day. It's been pleasant when the clouds have been over due to the oppressive heat that's been beating down here in Columbus today.
2-0 count. Jones winds, delivers, and misses in the dirt. She's been above and below the strike zone, but hasn't spent a lot of time swimming in it. The count now 3-0 on the catcher, Lauren Sweet. Jones winds and delivers. The 3-0 pitch is over the outside corner for a called strike one. That one a close pitch, perhaps low in the zone. Sweet with a knowing smile, as though perhaps Bowen has expanded her strike zone just a wee bit. The 3-1 pitch is lined into center field. Knief turns, now stops and plants and makes the catch about where she was standing at the start of the play. 1 up, 1 down for the Wolverines in the bottom of the fourth.
Bit of a golf poke from Lauren Sweet there into center field, and an easy play for Knief to get the first out of the inning. Easy outs have been hard to come by so far today for the Nittany Lions.
Solid contact there by Sweet, but didn't find the right place, and that will bring up Lindsay Montemarano for the Wolverines. She has come to the plate 3 times and has reached base twice. The first pitch from Jones is on the outside corner for a called strike one. The outfield shading Montemarano to pull. Montemarano, the third baseman, with a double to left field, a walk, and a ground out in her 3 at-bats. The 0-1 pitch is off speed and in the dirt. That one missed low, and the count now 1-1 on Montemarano.
And Montemarano back in the bottom of the second inning started that 13-run slugfest for the Wolverines with her leadoff double and proceeded to come to the plate 3 times that inning.
Jones winds. The 1-1 pitch is lined back up the middle of base hit. That one tailing into right center field is tracked down by Knief. Montemarano takes a big turn around first base, but stops with a 1-out single.
That'll be the 12th hit of the game for the Wolverines here, as Lindsay Montemarano continues her torrid streak at the plate today.
That'll bring up the designated player, Aidan Falk. She is 2 for 2 on today's game with a home run to go with a walk and an infield single. The lefty Falk facing the lefty Jones on the bump. Jones winds and delivers. Falk swings and lofts one into shallow right center field. That one's going to drop in no man's land. Knief comes up with it. Can't make the throw into second base before Montemarano slides in there safely. A bloop single in no man's land with 1 out for Aidan Falk. Leaves 2 on with 1 out for the Wolverines, and that'll bring up Tera Blanco. The second baseman, Sorensen, gave up on that ball rather quickly, and with the outfield playing deep, no one was going to make that play for Penn State.
Tera Blanco, a favorite of WCBN broadcaster Kevin Klein. See what she can do here.
Blanco 1 for 1 on today's game. Takes the first pitch low and away. Blanco a solo shot following Falk's shot back in the second inning. Also has a walk and a sac bunt in 3 plate appearances. She's ahead in the count 1-0. Jones winds and delivers. And that one runs inside and hits Blanco.
Just shaved her in the, looks like the back, maybe a little bit there.
I think that's the 4th better hit by pitch for the Michigan Wolverines on today's game. I know Lawrence has been plunked. Romero. Blanco has been hit. I think I'm missing someone too.
Could be 3.
Yeah, it's either 3 or 4 batters who have been hit by Penn State pitchers. They have not been afraid to go inside. That'll bring up Abby Ramirez with the bases loaded. She swings on the first pitch, dribbles it out in front of home plate, and it's picked up by Vanderveer. The ball just trickled foul before she got it. She would have picked it up and made the tag on the base runner, Montemarano, coming home from third. Count 0-1 on Ramirez with the bases still juiced. Ramirez 2 for 3 on today's game. Has a double plus an error to go with an infield single. Jones gets the sign, winds, and delivers. Check swing by Ramirez on a pitch that misses the zone high. Ball 1, the count now even at 1-1.
And it looks as though the infield isn't really even shading Ramirez now. Was shading her a little bit to opposite field as she's more of a slap hitter, but eased off here.
The 1-1 pitch misses in the dirt low. Vanderveer has been very solid behind the plate. Stops that one with the glove, and the count now 2-1 on Abby Ramirez. Not sure how eager Michigan will be to advance on a wild pitch given the score of the game right now.
Probably not 2.
Jones winds and delivers and misses low with the 2-1 pitch. The count now 3-1. Again, a scoreboard malfunction as it says the Wolverines have a 4-1 lead when in fact the lead is 14-1.
Nowhere to put Ramirez with 3 balls and 1 strike.
The 3-1 pitch, Ramirez swings and grounds that one foul. I think that might have hit her. Might have fouled that one off herself.
Up and in on the hands.
Regardless, it was picked up by the first baseman Brackpool in foul territory, so the count now full on the Wolverines shortstop. Ramirez showing bunt, probably going to pull back and swing. The 3-2 pitch from Jones misses in the dirt low. Ramirez takes it for a walk, trots down to first base, and a run scores from third. That'll be Montemorano. And the Wolverines now lead 15-1 over the Nittany Lions.
And here comes Mary Sabonik to pinch hit here.
It looks like Sierra Lawrence will take a seat. Nikki Vald pinch running over at second base for Tera Blanco.
And it's still Dre, and it's still a Michigan lead here, now 15-1.
That's Dr. Dre playing in the background right now for Mary Sabonik's walk-up music. We'll get you the stats on Sabonik as soon as we have them. She is mainly deployed as a pinch runner for these Wolverines, but now with a large lead and some dominant pitchers on the mound for Michigan. They're stepping off the gas pedal a little bit, giving some less used players an opportunity to step up and try their hands at the plate. Sabonik, 2 hits and 11 at-bats on the season this year.
Been more of a pinch run tool for the Wolverines to this point.
She has scored 14 runs on the season, despite only having 11 at-bats. The first pitch from the lefty Jones to the lefty Sabonik is a breaking ball that misses off the plate away. And for someone who doesn't get that many at-bats, Sabonik will probably be prone to swinging, but Jones has got to find the strike zone first. She winds and delivers the 1-0 pitch. Sabonik swings and chops one slowly up the third base line. Picked up in foul ground by the third baseman Miller. She threw home for the force out, but that one well fouled by the time it was grabbed by the third baseman Miller. The count now 1-1 on Mary Sabonik. Romero waiting on deck, but she looks like she's going to be pinch hit for by Lauren Connell if the inning gets to her. The 1-1 pitch to Sabonik misses up and away for ball 2.
Jones just struggling to find the strike zone now. Going to have to start to put something over the plate soon, or otherwise it's going to be another run to walk across the plate for the Wolverines here.
2-1 count on Sabonik. Jones winds and delivers. Sabonik takes on the inside corner for a called strike 2. A close pitch there, but one that on this hot day, given the extended nature of the game, is going to be called a strike by home plate umpire Bowen. Count 2-2 on the lefty Sabonik. Jones winds and pitches. Sabonik, a soft tapper towards second base, fielded and underhanded to first base. They just get the speedy Sabonik by a half step. Quick hands by Molly Sorensen to get that over to her first baseman Brackpool, and Sabonik was just darting down the line, almost beat that one out.
That will bring a run across the plate, though, so the lead now extended to 16-1 Michigan, 16 runs off of 13 hits on the day, and what has been nothing short of a slugfest here at Buckeye Field in Columbus, Ohio.
And that will bring up Lauren Connell in place of Sierra Romero.
Stadium start to fill in with a few more Buckeye fans as they get ready for their game against number 3 seed Nebraska coming up at 5:30 here this evening.
Buckeyes fans will no doubt be a little displeased at the success of the Wolverines, but perhaps will be deceived by the numbers on the scoreboard. The first pitch to Connell misses low for ball 1. Runners now on second and third with 2 outs for the Wolverines.
Scoreboard is still reading that it is now a 6-1 affair.
When in fact, the Wolverines have scored 13 runs in the second inning. Jones winds. The 1-0 pitch to Connell misses way outside for ball 2. Bowen is now adopting a liberal strike zone, understandably so. Jones just has to find it.
Connell's first at bat of the year.
The 2-0 pitch from Jones misses low for ball 3. And Coach Hutchins has indeed emptied the bench for the Wolverines. Pretty much
the only player really not to come out so far, Nikki Wald, Sarah Dreisinga, and Becca Garfinkel.
Wald has been a pinch runner at one point in this game. She's in fact sitting on third base right now. Connell takes the 3-0 pitch over the plate for strike 1.
So that would mean that the only players that have not come into the game are Sarah Dreisinga and Becca Garfinkel.
Dreisinga has been nursing an injury as far as I know. Not sure about the status of Garfinkel. The 3-0 pitch from Jones is swung on and skied into left field. A home run swing by Connell, but she doesn't get the home run result. Aaron Pond settles under it in left field and makes the catch on a towering flyout. That'll end the bottom half of the fourth inning. Michigan adds 2 to their lead, and they now lead 15 runs, 16-1
I
after
believe it's
4
now
innings.
final call time for the Nittany Lions, as this game will end at the end of the top of the 5th here if the Wolverines still hold an 8-run lead, currently 16-1.
And the bench mob for the Wolverines heading out into left field. Another player who we have not seen today is backup catcher Morgan Swift, but I'm sure that all able-bodied Wolverines will get their chance in today's game, as it looks like Sabonik I think it's Sabonik, in fact, but she's headed out into center field in place of Sierra Lawrence. Looks like Romero will be back out at second base. Ramirez at short. Swearingen and Christner returning to their routine spots in right and left field. Wagner's still on the circle for the Wolverines to try to close this one out.
As best we know, it'll be Vanderveer, Brackpool, and Pond, the last 3 hitters for the Nittany Lions here today. Brackpool did have the solo shot home run, the only Nittany Lions run back in the top of the 2nd, to which Michigan answered with a 13-run flurry in the bottom of the inning. And it's been all Michigan ever since, 16-1 headed to the top of the 5th.
The stats for the Wolverines have been quite impressive. Aidan Falk and Sierra Romero, 2 Wolverines who have gone 3 for 3 between them. They've scored 5 runs and knocked in 9. Romero with perhaps the bulk of that on her 2nd inning grand slam that officially opened the floodgates for the Wolverines, and they have not looked back.
Just to mention again tonight, the other 2 games coming up on Big Ten Network will be number 3 Nebraska against number 6 Ohio State, the home team here. And then after that game at 8 p.m. will be number 2 seed Minnesota against the number 10 seed Iowa Hawkeyes. The winner of those 2 games advancing to the other semifinal game tomorrow, as the first semifinal game will feature the winner of this game and the Northwestern Wildcats, ranked number 4 coming into the tournament.
Minnesota and Michigan both heavy favorites to advance to the final, but don't underestimate those Hawkeyes, as they're the only other Big Ten team to defeat the Wolverines this year.
You never know what happens in May Madness, Mo.
The first pitch from Wagner to Vanderveer misses off the plate inside for ball 1.
Number 12 Purdue did beat number 5 Illinois yesterday to advance to the game against Northwestern today.
The 1-0 pitch is grounded over to third. Montemurano fields on a couple hops, skips, throws across the diamond to Blanco at first base to retire Vanderveer. 1 up, 1 down on 2 pitches for Penn State here in the top half of the 5th inning. Slick fielding by Montemurano on a routine ground ball, hit hard, but right at her. That'll bring up Brackpool as 1 for 1 with a solo shot. The 1 hit on the day for Penn State. Wagner winds and delivers. Brackpool lines 1 foul down the left field line. A good swing there, but didn't quite straighten it out in fair territory.
The one bright spot in this game today for the Nittany Lions was Brackpool's solo shot right over the head of Kelly Christner in left field back in the top of the 2nd inning.
Hey, not many players can say they've hit a home run off of Megan Betza. Brackpool now has that honor. The 0-1 pitch from Wagner misses off the plate outside. The count now 1-1 on the righty first baseman for the Nittany Lions. Brackpool, not a lot of action to her stance, rests the bat on her right shoulder. Wagner winds the 1-1 pitch. Called strike on the outside corner, about thigh high with that breaking pitch. Now ahead in the count, 1-2. Infield and outfield shaded at about normal depth. Wagner gets the sign. The 1-2 pitch, swinging a soft liner right into the waiting glove of Abby Ramirez at short. 2 up, 2 down for the Nittany Lions, and down to their last at bat, stepping up to the plate, will be the now left fielder, Aaron Pond.
It seems as though the season is about to wind down to a close here for the Nittany Lions. Still a good, respectable season for them, coming into the tournament at 29-27, a good above 500 record in this difficult league.
First pitch, grounder over to Romero. She fields, throws over to first, and that's going to do it. here at Buckeye Field. The Michigan Wolverines beat the Penn State Nittany Lions 16-1 in a 5-inning run rule. Betza and Wagner combine on the outing, and really the whole lineup on fire today. We're going to wrap up our broadcast pretty soon. Any final thoughts for our viewers, Jeremy?
I think it was just a story of the bats today. Michigan, no looking back after the bottom of the second inning there. Really no looking back after the Brackpool home run. They decided that they wanted to hit, and they just didn't want to stop. Put 16 up on 13 hits, and they're going to walk into the semifinal game tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 against Northwestern, which we will bring you here on WCBN Sports.
You heard it here, 3:30 tomorrow. We'll be back with you with a broadcast on this very same YouTube channel. But for now, we're going to have to close up for today. The stars on the game for Michigan, Tera Romero and Aidan Falk. But really, you can point to the whole lineup as having had a heck of a field day against this Penn State, pitching your final from Buckeye Field, Michigan 16, Penn State 1. For Jeremy Parks and for WCBN Sports, I'm Morris Fabry, and I'm going to wish you guys a good afternoon, good evening, good night, and a go blue.
Push the stop button.